Hello, 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 hello out there. How's everybody doing? Is everybody pretty conservative in New York? Christopher Wright here with a very, very, very special guest. Me and this gentleman go way back, going on 5 years now. I'm with the WalkAway Movement, and time flies, right? And he's a really, really great guy, real patriot. America first is the definition. You look at the definition, you see this guy's picture. Good friend and fellow patriot, Brandon Straka. How you been, Brandon?
I've been pretty good. Yeah, time flies when you're in jail.
Right? Yeah, man, you've been going through it, man. I know you've been going through it firsthand, man. There's a lot I want to catch up with you on. A lot we got to talk about. There's been a lot going on in the country. But first and foremost, where I want to begin with, man, because you got a very important, movement. I mean, of course, the WalkAway movement, but you had another part of the movement you just recently did with the WalkAway social app. Can you tell the people that are listening a little bit about the app and what that's about? I'm a member, of course. I joined as soon as I could, but inform the people about the app if you could.
For sure. Yeah, no. So WalkAway started in May of 2018 as a video and written testimonial campaign. Wanted people to tell their stories, real people, real stories, talking about why they're walking away from the Democratic Party. And then anybody, maybe on the right or in the middle who we say walks with them. That's people who support the movement, support people who are walking away, encouraging people to walk away. And Facebook banned that in January of 2021. And at that point, we'd grown to like 511,000 patriots. And it was pretty terrible. So, we had a decision to make, how do we move forward with this? And I decided let's build our own platform that no one can ever take away from us. So we just launched WalkAway Social. It's available in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. It's also on the web, walkawaysocial.com. But basically, this is a platform that belongs to us. It's very similar in the way it functions to Facebook, but we're not trying to be the next Facebook. We're not trying to be the next Twitter or Truth Social, like open source platform. I literally just want people to sign up, create a profile. And then once you create a profile, you're automatically added to our testimonial group and our discussion group. We have state groups. So what it is it's just to kind of rebuild the WalkAway community through our different groups and communities. And I want to encourage everyone to make a video testimonial telling your either walk away or your walk with story and upload it in the testimonial group. And so we're just kind of getting started with that. It's really interesting to kind of see how this process unfolds. I'm learning every day. It's a very, very interesting journey because just yesterday, I went on my Twitter account and I screenshotted one of my tweets. And then I just took that picture and I put it in the discussion group on WalkAway Social. Right. And it went crazy. They got so much engagement. And I'm like, oh, okay. So people really like that. That's interesting. I didn't know, so I'm just it's going to take, I think, months to kind to out what the rhythm is and
the algorithm, man, the algorithm,
the algorithm. But just like our own rhythm, what is it that our community wants to engage? How do we want to engage? But it's pretty cool. The platform's amazing. So everyone should get on it.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, man. It's really big, great platform, and I've been on it. I posted a few videos on there already. Got great feedback. A lot of fellow America First patriots on there. And it's also anybody who creates content who's conservative in this country knows about the censorship that goes on from big tech. So it's just a relief to be able to go on a platform where you have freedom of speech. You're able to get your voice heard, say what you want to say, how you want to say it, not to worry about getting censored or canceled or anything like that, crazy like that. So you're doing a great job with that, man.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely, Brandon. And I really wanted to talk about something as well with you with the WalkAway movement. I personally have, a lot of love for the movement and what you guys have done. Before I even did my WalkAway video, people that grew up with me knew I didn't like taking pictures. Was never on social media. I never posted. So when I did my WalkAway video, you mentioned to me I was the first minority to put out a video. So it caught a lot of attention. I didn't expect it to. And it went viral. A lot of people started reaching out to me. And it just, from that point on, it just grew with people, want to get in contact. I started to see already Conservative Republican Alliance here in New York. And it's just been growing from there. And I've always show love for WalkAway because, I don't know where I'll be without the WalkAway movement. And, I always come back and do whatever I can to help you guys out and what you're doing and your causes. And there's a video I wanted to play that you did for the WalkAway movement a while back that really caught my attention. And for people that didn't know, what really drew me in with the WalkAway movement was I was coming home from work one day. And on the way home from work, I was checking my phone and I saw Brandon Straka's WalkAway video. and he was telling his walkaway story, you know, about being a gay hairstylist in Manhattan, and you know, him getting the courage to walk away from the Democrat Party. And at that time, I was like almost like a closet conservative, they call us at the time, where I was like, you know, I was big into politics, but I was afraid to come out as a black conservative in New York on behalf of Trump and everything like that at that time. So I was hesitant. But when I saw Brandon, I was like, you know what? If he can get the courage to do it, you know, there's no excuse for me. So I literally got off the bus from work and was walking home from work. And I said, if you look at my very first video, I said, what better way to do a walkaway video than when you're walking away? Because I was doing the video right there on the spot. And I thank you so much, because you gave me the courage to do it. And, you know, you really started up a really powerful movement. And this video here is a video I like to play for anybody who's like thinking about, they're on the fence and they're thinking about me walking away from the plantation. So this is the Red Pill video with Black conservatives for the WalkAway Movement. I'm going to play it for you right now, guys. Check it out.
Brandon Straka.
Hi.
How are you, my friend?
Great to be here.
Brandon Straka.
Brandon Straka.
Brandon Straka, the founder for the WalkAway campaign.
Should I just jump right in?
One of our patriots in the WalkAway campaign, his name is Mike Boss.
Mike Boss.
A Hollywood film producer in our campaign. His name's Mike Boss.
He has outdone himself this time because he's created
almost like a documentary using the testimonials of these people who have done walkaway videos.
the history of Black America by Black America.
Telling the true history of the KKK, talking about Planned Parenthood.
About Obama, about Trump, about immigration, about religion and faith.
He showed it to me and it blew my mind.
It's a brilliant documentary style film.
That's available for people to watch for free on YouTube.
Mike Boss is a warrior.
I will no longer abide by the ideology of the Democrats. Never again.
Make America great again.
God bless America.
This is the greatest country on the planet, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And I'm saying that as an African-American male.
God bless America. God bless our president.
My side loves the Constitution.
I am liberated in my conservatism.
I'm proud to be an American.
I'm a conservative person, and I'm a free thinker.
God bless the WalkAway Movement.
Thank you guys for joining this movement. You guys clearly have common sense.
Reclaim your dignity, your life.
America is a beautiful country.
If you love this nation and you love the Pledge of Allegiance, you already know the Democrats is not where you want to go.
I'm always telling my friends, you really don't know how blessed you are to live in America till you get outside the continental United States.
This information needs to get out.
Thank God I became a free thinker.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed that, man, that what you were doing. Like, you know, a lot of minorities came out for the WalkAway Movement, man, and you guys, you know, really were part, you know, MAGA, I feel, was the initial spark of waking up a lot of different cultures and communities to what's going on the right. But your movement, the WalkAway Movement, was like the physical element of that, of hands-on, like grassroots, get out there, get involved, and you really like gave that gateway for people to get their voice heard that were like kind of like me at one point, intimidated to kind of come out and speak out. You said, here's a gate to walk in to kind of speak out on. And I really appreciate what you did with that.
Thank you. I please, if you don't mind, when we get off the interview, I'd love it if you sent that to me, what you just showed. I'd love to have that. There's so like, you know, everything was, it's really weird. You know, when I launched WalkAway in 2018, and it was just like a snowball, just kept getting bigger and growing and growing and growing and moving faster and faster and faster. And people used to ask me all the time during those first 2.5 years, like, do you ever just, you know, think about what you started or what you created? And I was always like, no, because I'm always like, what's the next thing I have to do? What's the next thing I have to do? How do we get to the next place or do the next thing or do whatever? And then when I got arrested in January of 2021, that just started like it was like a meteor, you know, coming in and just kind of like causing all of this destruction. And it's weird. It's like there's so much stuff that I missed, like, because I was just constantly moving and on the go. And then now when I look back with like what you just showed me, I mean, that takes my breath away. I'm just like, wow, it's like it's like watching someone else do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's I know it's a lot to look back when you, like I said, when you're in the moment and you're just doing so much. When you actually have a time to kind of sit back and relax and look back, you're like, was that me who did that? Like that?
Did I do all that? Yeah. Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It was really, it's great what you did, and it really came a long way. And speaking about some of the issues you dealt with recently when it came to I know you've been through a lot, and I want to kind of talk about that with the whole January 6th situation, because I know that's been a big effect on you, and I know as you know, when you were going through a lot of your situations and issues, I was texting you, say, hey man, stay strong, keep pushing forward, because I saw what they were doing with that. I was there on January 6th as well, and it's just, I saw how the media was taking a situation and flipping it the moment that it happened. And when I saw how they, what happened with you, I was like, man, you were like the obvious victim of that, fake news, propaganda nonsense. So if you want to go speak on that and tell me how your life's been affected since January 6th, and, in good and bad, and going to kind of bring that up to the people.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if there's any good.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any good there.
I'm trying to think, what's the good of January 6th? No, there is actually, there are some positive things that came out of it, including I think me getting more of a sense of confidence about, before January 6th, I always thought that we were like a heartbeat away from everything falling apart. Like I didn't have enough faith, I think, or trust that like things could be okay. If I never felt like I could like take a day off or take my eye off the ball, because I was like, if I stop for a second, then it's it's all going to go away and whatever. And now I guess I have a little more faith in my followers and my people, and that they're going to stand behind me and excuse me, that kind of thing. But mostly it's been very, very destructive. I mean, it's obviously the FBI raided my house. They took me to jail. I spent days in jail, and then when I got out of jail, I learned that I was facing felony charges, even though I didn't go inside the Capitol on January 6th, and that because I was arrested, that was used as an excuse for this like machinery to go into motion, where I started getting banned and very quickly and relentlessly from PayPal, Venmo, Stripe, Patreon, banks, email services, MailChimp, Constant Contact, MailerLite, SendLane, Facebook, Instagram. They took the WalkAway group down. We got banned from our donor portals. We got banned from our payment processors. I mean, and permanent. I mean, they all said, for the rest of your life, you're done. Yeah. And so, first of all, you're just mentally trying to grapple with the fact that you're in this, like the most high profile criminal case in the country, in the world, that you're a part of that you're facing felony charges as a Trump supporter in the Democrat run government case against you. It literally like the most high profile thing that's happening in the entire world. And in addition to that, and everything that goes along with that, even if you're able to get through that, you like, what is left? I mean, they've when you're not allowed to send and receive money and send and receive emails and send and have payment, take in donations and communicate with people, and you've like, how do you move forward with your life? And I mean, I've said before, I mean, it's sort of like somebody just like tossed a grenade into my life and just blew everything up. And it's like everything that I had built for years just became tiny little fragments of, and I had to figure, like, what do you do? Like, where do you even start to put that back together? And obviously it can never be put back together like the way it was, but like, do you even try, or do you just say, okay, not to be too dark, but I mean, a lot of January 6th people have committed suicide, and that's why, because it's like, how do you even piece a life back together after that? But I don't know. I felt like I feel like I'm not done yet, and I have a lot more that I want to do, and I don't want them to be able to write the end of my story for me. And so I want to keep fighting, and I want to keep going, and I want to be victorious in the end, because I want to show everybody that you can come back from something like this, and that they don't win, just because they're so powerful.
I totally agree with that, man. Great message, by the way, man. I totally agree 110% with everything you just said. We can't bow to the mob, man. We can't let cancel culture win. They threw everything they had at you because, and I tell people all the time, the reason why they did that is because they saw you as so much of a threat. They saw what the WalkAway movement, what it stood for, which, who you are as a man, and what, where you came from, your background. And like I said, as a minority conservative, I see the backlash I get is a little bit stronger than if I was, and not to bring race. I hate bringing up talking race because of the left and anything like that. But, we know, if we are not the typical conservative, our message goes a little bit further.
It's true. It's true.
And they know that on the left. So when people like us speak up or we stand out, any chance they can get to knock us down, they'll take it. And because they know it's like we are such a big threat, they don't want us getting out to the community of people that we are connected with and reaching them and getting our message out further out to that community. So they'd rather shut us down any way they possibly can, and that's why I saw what's going on with you. And I just said, man, when I saw it, all I wanted was just keep fighting through it. I know it's easier said than done when you're watching from a distance, but I just wanted to keep, and I'm glad to see you do it. I saw you got your Facebook account back up and going again. You got the WalkAway social app, doing your thing. And, I just said, in my end, what I want to do when I saw you coming, doing your thing, coming back with everything is just, help you with the, minority outreach when I can. Cause I know we were doing that prior when we first met. You invited me to the 1-year WalkAway anniversary. We had a lot of patriots there that spoke, and, you took me epic times when we spoke together and did interviews together. So you were really, helping me on, get my path going as well. So you always reach out to the minority community. Doesn't matter what race it may be or religious background or, sexual preference, whatever it may be, you always reached out and helped the people get their voices heard. So I'd like to do the same for you as well. Yeah, no problem, Brandon. Anytime, brother. But there is something that I want to play for the people as well that are tuning in, because we, all I guess mention this, us on the right being, that minority conservative community, we do see some radical leftist behavior. And there's a video I saw you recently posted of when you had, I remember when it initially happened, when you had your run-in with BLM
in Dallas.
Yeah. So I want to share that to the people out there and kind of give people an idea what we have to deal with. Like you said, like when you hear about the leftists use terms like, oppression and, I deal with you guys are fascists and Nazis and all this crazy stuff they call us.
Right.
The real behavior you actually see, those terms that they keep saying, we see those terms, but it's on the right
from them.
We see it coming from the left. So whatever they call you or yelling at you, they're calling you Nazi scum or they're calling you a fascist or whatever, racist. It's what usually they actually are behind the closed doors. And we see that firsthand as being conservative. So this video is a good example of that with Brandon running with BLM. I'm going to go ahead and play that for you guys. And feel free to comment and give us your thoughts on the video in the comment section.
I'm pressed. I'm pressed. You disrespectful. We really own it. We're not taking that. Go faster down. Go faster. Don't keep watching. Go faster. Why the
We're being chased by a mob of people outside the police station, a mob of Black Lives Matter protesters. They've already thrown shit at us. The police are not here. We're trying to get away from them. They're attacking gay people. Attacking women.
Are you here with him? Are you here with him? Then you do something.
We're basically running to the end of the street right now because that's where the cops are.
Oof. Insane, man. That was insane. I remember watching that live when it was going on, brother, and I was just like, what in the world is going on? Can you just give a little bit of background to what was going on with that? You know, it's obvious, but, you know, of course, you were at a firsthand point of view, so you can give a little bit of background about what was happening there.
That was one of the scariest things that I've ever experienced while doing our events or, you know, whatever. So we were in Dallas during 2020 summertime. We were crossing the country doing events that we called Rescue America rallies. And so we were doing a Rescue America rally in a park in Dallas, and BLM showed up, and they started one of their activists charged our stage. And interestingly enough, he charged our stage while a black woman was speaking. We had Shamika Michelle was traveling around with us. Yeah. So Shamika was on stage speaking, and this guy named Dominique Alexander with Black Lives Matter he tried to get on the stage. I mean, I don't even know what he was planning to do to her if he got to her, but our security stepped in, stopped him. He put his arm on our security's neck, his hand. And at that point, then our security took him down to the ground. Boom, took him down. The police came. When the police came, they arrested this guy, Dominique Alexander. And when Dominique was getting into the cop car while he was being arrested, he started shouting, "Call Chief Hall, call Chief Hall," talking about Dallas Chief of Police Renee Hall, who was a Black Lives Matter sympathizer.
Wow.
So they took him away, and then about 20 minutes later, the police came back and arrested my security guard.
What?
Yes, who was also a black man. Yeah. So they arrested my security guard for stopping this guy from charging my stage and attacking my speaker. So it was like 4 or 5 hours later, and they still had not released my security guard. So my team and I went to the police station to just say, you know, what's going on and why are you not releasing him? And when we got there, there was a mob of about 30 Black Lives Matter members standing in front of the police station, and every news outlet that you can imagine, everyone, ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, Telemundo, like everything, all there with cameras. And Black Lives Matter were doing a press conference and talking about how this, you know, white supremacist group had shown up in their city, and that they went to counter protest this, you know, white supremacist group, and that they were just exercising their First Amendment rights when one of our members assaulted them. And I mean, and I was just listening to this, and I was like, are you serious? So when they got done, I went up to ABC and I said, are you interested in getting the truth about this story? And they were like, sure, we'll interview you, you know, whatever. And they said, we're on a commercial break, but we'll be back in a couple of minutes. I said, great. I would love to tell you the truth of what happened. So while I'm standing there waiting to be able to do my thing, those people formed a circle around me. And there were literally about 30 of them. Formed a circle around me, and they just started getting closer and closer and closer. And like they were threatening, making threatening comments. And I was like, okay, I better get the hell out of here.
Oh, wow.
So I turned to the ABC guy and I said, forget it. I'm out. I'm leaving. And I turned around and I got out of the circle, and then that happened. Then they chased us, and they chased us for 5 blocks.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And by the way, Chris, they chased us for like 5 blocks, and every one of those news stations followed with their cameras. ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, they saw the entire thing happen. They followed us the full 5 blocks down the street filming it. And that night on the news, they ran the press conference that the Black Lives Matter people did, where they said that they were the victims of being assaulted by us. And they never talked about that chase that they filmed for 5 blocks. They never told that story, but they ran the original press conference.
Hypocrisy. It's insane, man. It's insane. People don't realize, not realize what Brandon just talked about. Until you actually live it and you're in it, you don't realize it, guys. And I'm telling you, it's crazy, the hypocrisy. we all have stories. Anybody who's done what we've done and getting involved in this kind of movement, it's new wave conservative movement, we've have stories to tell. And, you know, I've seen it firsthand myself. I've dealt with Antifa and Black Lives Matter on separate occasions. You know, there was a time where I was walking in the city and I saw Antifa. They were coming from, I don't know where they're coming from, probably some like crazy protester or whatever. And I was literally just walking through the city to meet with some friends of mine who were just there, you know, at the Trump Tower area. So we met up and I was leaving. And when I was leaving, I saw a block of like about probably 30, 40 members walking down the block together with the, you know, pro free speech or something. They had some sign that's talking about like they're, you know, pro, rights or whatever, where we know they're the opposite. But, you know, so what I did was I took my camera out and I started recording them. And, you know, there's a situation that occurred and I got that clip as well. And I want to show both clips of what Brandon went through and this clip that I went through with Antifa as well, to kind of give you guys an idea. Like I was saying, like people talk about fascism and, oh, I'm oppressed and, oh, they're out to get me. All this, you know, the left is the old white man. You know, I call him the white boogeyman underneath the bed that comes to get them. Oh, no, they're going to stop. They always complain and say this is happening when there's no evidence. But yet we have the evidence. And you see how the media takes our evidence and they flip it and they twist it, or they take, you know, information and they put their own narrative. So even when we do have the evidence in the video footage, even then they twist it around to fit their narrative. So this is the clip that I had that when I ran to Antifa. So I'm going to play that, guys, for you real quick.
No love, man, no love. No love, brother. Fuck you. No love. Fuck you. No love for me. Everybody say conservative in New York. No love, no love, no love. It's all good, though. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. We came, we saw, we conquered. Everybody's very conservative in New York. Y'all know what it is. You know what it is, brother. Cowboys. On the sidewalk. On the sidewalk. You know what it is. You know what it is. We out here. We out here representing. Y'all go that way? On the sidewalk. On the sidewalk. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody very conservative in New York, baby. We're walking through the crowd. Everybody's very conservative. It's all love, baby. It's all love here. It's all love here. It's all love. Hey, it's all love here. It's all love here. Yeah, it's all love here. I'm Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn. Yeah. I know where you at too on the south. Yeah. Watching, bro. Yeah, keep watching, bro. Keep watching, bro. Keep watching. Keep watching, fellas. Keep watching. Everybody's favorite conservative in New York today. Hope they enjoy. Hope they enjoy the content. Hope they enjoy the content. Hope they enjoy the content. Hope they enjoy it. Hope they enjoy the content, man. Yeah, man. Hope you enjoy the content, brother. Hope you enjoy it. You got threats here. You got threats here. You got threats here. We got threats here. We got threats out here. Just want to show you guys a little something, something. That's what's happening here in New York. Wow. So, there you have it, folks. Everybody's very conservative in New York, bringing you the...
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, we
What started that?
I did full video. I shortened it to like right when I approached them, but I seen them coming down the block and I just started live streaming on Facebook right there. And when I was live streaming, there was a gentleman that approached me. He said, "Hey man, be careful. There's a group down there, guys. I don't know what they're about." I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I see, I see them. I'm aware." So, he didn't know if I was aware of what was going on down there. So by the time they got into iView, I just start recording. And at that point, I've already dealt with them in the past. There was a situation that happened in Manhattan. There was a famous situation where the Proud Boys got in a fight with Antifa in the city. And I was at that event. I was hoping to get an interview with Gavin McInnes, who was at the Met Club that night. And I just started from WalkAway, I just started my YouTube channel. So I said, let me see if we get an interview with Gavin. So when I left that interview, there was all black covered Antifa. And they were saying, you guys are Nazi scum, yelling at us. And so they had a couple of members break off the group and meet us at the end of the block we're going to be at. And they ended up getting in an altercation with the Proud Boys. They threw a bottle at them and the fight broke out. I recorded the incident. I shared it. Who was it? Oh man, I forgot I can't believe it's not coming to my name right now. But a leftist news outlet took my video and they cut me out of it. And they said a white supremacist group attacks innocent anti-fascists in Manhattan. So, after that happened, I ended up making a video with the full clip, and they were like, what the heck? They're saying these guys white supremacists, but there was a black guy with them and everything. I went to court on the Proud Boys' behalf. So because Cuomo stepped in and pressed charges against the members of the Proud Boys that fight Antifa to defend themselves. So let me make a long story short, 5 of those guys ended up going to jail over a big lie and a big, all political at the end of the day. So at that moment, I knew how that whole situation with the Proud Boys and Antifa were. So when I saw Antifa marching down that street that day, I said, let me record these guys and not say a word. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not, because I don't want, if I know how they are, if I say anything, or they'll use that one word I said to them when they come after me, they say, oh, see, this guy was saying hate speech or whatever. So I said, I'm just going to record. I'm not going to say a word. So I just started doing that. And then if you see it's kind of hard to see because at that beginning of that video, it like happens. Starting the video starts. One guy points and he's like, that's Christopher Wright. He's a right-wing fascist. Da, 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 da. And right when he says that, that's when they turn to me, start cussing at me, yelling at me, giving me the finger, beating on pans and all that. And then I flipped the camera on myself because they were calling me all these crazy names. So I want the people to see that we're just tuning in. Like, this is the guy they're calling like, a racist or whatever. Then I flipped back onto them. And then that's when it happened. So honestly, I did absolutely nothing. All I did was hit record and stand there. And guy pointed me out and called me a fascist. And
he recognized you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And you see that there's that one black gentleman, the only black guy they had in the whole group there at the very end was talking the most in my ear. And he said, man, I know where you live. Da, da, da. And he was naming roads and stuff like that where I do walk and talks on. He didn't even know if I lived there. Now he just saw me watch my videos enough to even know the streets that I was walking on. So they were trying to, threaten me with that. So, it's just crazy how they are. It's like I said, that's why when I hear they use these terms and with us, oh, you guys are fascists, you guys are this. If you actually study what these terms are, the actions that reflect these terms that they call us, they're actually doing those actions.
Exactly. I mean, they're anarchists, they're fascists, they love to shut down conversation. They want to make noise and create anarchy so that you can't talk, so that you can't be heard, that, your speech is being shut down. And I mean, they're 100%. God, that all gives me, I feel like since the change, Biden started occupying the Oval Office, it's like we don't really, I don't know, I feel like I don't see that as much anymore. They've kind of calmed down a little bit, but it's like what you just showed me, I just feel like that was like every day of 2019 and 2020,
You nailed it, man. And you know what's so funny? I'm still in the city right now, man. And it is quiet. You could hear a feather drop right now in New York City.
Wow.
If you know New York very well pre-COVID. Yeah. And I know you probably might have been here a couple of times post-COVID. You see, it's like a ghost town compared to where it was before.
Yeah.
So, and it's not only a ghost town in terms of the people got the heck out of Dodge, especially people who had common sense and said, let me get the heck out of this crazy place where, especially the people with the money, but what's also a ghost town about it, like you said, when Trump was in office, you saw stuff like that every single day in New York City. You would walk down the street, you see that protest and, Trump's a racist and blocking roads and all kinds of stuff. But you don't see that at all anymore. And I tell people all the time, what I'm like, and they're so quick to call me as a black man, as a conservative. They're so quick to call me Uncle Tom, Coon, yada, yada. Uncle Tom was a hero, but that's a whole different story. They're so quick to call me these terms, but I'm like, you got a president in office who I have evidence who's a racist. He said, for example, you're not black unless you vote for me.
Yeah.
And now, and this guy is in office and the inflation's increased. The taxes have gone up through the roof. Gas prices are through the roof. The cost of groceries. we're going to issue with war, putting money into this war in Ukraine, maybe heading to World War III, could be heading to civil war in our own country. All this negative stuff going on that's affecting not only the whole country, but especially minorities in this country. And yet I don't hear a peep from Black Lives Matter. I don't hear a peep from Antifa. I don't hear. And that's why that's my issue with them. If they were true revolutionaries, if they really were truly, okay, we're just about going against the establishment, we're out here going against the man and all that. When I was younger, hey, I was wearing Che Guevara shirts, whatever, until I started reading books and learning more about the truth and history of things. And I changed my aspect of life. But if they really want to be on that side and be true anarchists, I'm like, well, if you're gonna be an anarchist, be a true anarchist. Like, we are getting attacked by the establishment right now in levels I've never seen in my entire life as an American citizen. And you guys are silent as you can't hear a peep from you guys right now. So that's why I have issue with you guys. You guys are hypocrites. You guys are liars. You guys aren't really, you guys, like I tell them all the time, if I was to be a Democrat, I'll be a better Democrat than any Democrat right now. I'll beat them at their own game, because it's like, you guys aren't true to what you are. So it's like, and that's all I'm asking is, if you guys want to be Democrats, you guys want to be revolutionaries, et cetera, be true to it. And if you're a revolutionary right now, you should be out in the streets every single moment of the day right now, because we have issues going on right now where our country's getting affected. You're not saying a word.
That's right. Absolutely true. Yeah, total hypocrites. And the whole thing is that the reason why they're allowed to get away with that, they don't get charged when they engage in violence. They don't get charged when they engage in destruction, whatever. And they're sending a very loud and clear message to all of us that this is basically, a violent, destructive, anarchist arm of the Democratic Party. And when they want to deploy it and use it, they will. And when they feel like they don't need to, they won't. I think right now they feel like they don't need to. But, once we get past the primaries and we're heading into the general election, we'll start hearing from them again, for sure. Yeah.
The Democratic Party is going to be reaching out to them again. Like, hey, it's time for you guys. We need you guys. It's time for you guys to come out. We need you to block some roads. And, it's that time of year.
Right. Yeah.
and that's why
people are getting behind Trump. People are getting behind Trump. So we got to, make sure these people feel afraid to come outside their homes, or you put a sign in their yard or a flag in their yard or any of this stuff. That's what they're there for.
Of course. Orange man bad. We all know that. Trump derangement syndrome. But yeah, Brandon, there's one more thing I want to talk with you for our interview today. And this is something that's very important. I feel that's going on. It's affecting, of course, New York, but the rest of the country as well. And it's the recent situation going on with Alvin Harris and the witch hunt, with Trump and everything like that. And there's a patriot here in New York City. She's been going through, she's been doing a lot of protests and rallies, even before I probably been involved with the WalkAway Movement almost 5 years ago, because I met her when I started doing the protesting and everything on behalf of WalkAway MAGA and everything like that. And I would see her at events, and she would have this poster of her and her son, who was a veteran who ended up losing his life, getting murdered by an illegal immigrant. And the crime in this country is insane right now, especially with bail reform and everything like that going on, and criminals knowing that they can do whatever they want pretty much and get away with it. And New York is like the home base of that kind of policy, and it's really showing in New York City. The crime has gotten insane here. And so we've seen them going after this witch hunt with Trump, and they're trying to find like any fine print in the paperwork from 20 years ago, and and all this stuff like that, trying to get him, and they're putting all their best efforts using the justice system, weaponizing the justice system to get him. But yet there's literally people in New York City who are getting murdered, raped, robbed, name it, it's happening. And people who are committing these crimes are literally getting released the moment after they commit them. They'll get arrested, released that same night. It's insane. So they had her speak in Congress, against Alvin Bragg, because they have him speak recently here in New York City, and she spoke. And I want to play the clip of what she said and go from there. But hold on, it's Madeline Brame, folks.
Your experiences are devastating. But the problem is that this is a charade to cover up for an abuse of power, that they are going around talking incessantly outside of this hearing about Donald Trump. And the purpose of this hearing is to cover up for what they know to be an inappropriate investigation. Now, I look forward, many of you are
Can I
in New
respond
York
to
City.
you, please?
No, not right now, because I only have 20 seconds. I'm sorry. But I do want to
Don't
talk.
insult my intelligence. That you're not.
Hang on. The gentleman's time.
I'm not
Okay,
insulting your
you're
intelligence.
trying to insult me
Time.
like I'm not aware of what's going on
Brand,
here.
thank you.
Okay?
Time
I'm
belongs to
fully aware of what's going on here.
Gentleman will suspend. Gentleman gets another 15 seconds.
Thank you.
That's why I walked away from the plantation of the Democratic Party.
Committee will be in order.
Ms. Brame, what I was about to say is that as a representative of this city, I look forward to working with you, with Ms. Harrison, Mr.
Yeah. Madeline,
I
she's
love it.
no joke. Yeah, she's no joke, man. I was at an event last night. I was regarding the border patrol that's going on with the border situation down in Texas, and there's a illegal immigration situation affecting New York City, of course, a lot. So we had some people who are involved with ICE and everything like that speak at an event, and they saw her there, and they're like, we know this is not her event, but we just want her to come and say a few words. And she spoke, and she like tore the roof down, man. Like when she was done, like there were so many people in the crowd like speechless, and she spoke from the heart, and it was this passion. And like you said, she lost her son to this crime situation in New York City years ago. And they totally sweep that under the rug because it doesn't fit the narrative of the evil white man's out to get you. And so they, and now she's standing up, and she's standing up more now than anybody with this whole situation with Trump and Alvin Bragg and the witch hunt. So I got a lot of respect for what she's doing.
Do you have contact information for her?
I do. So if you want to reach out to her, please, I'll definitely exchange that for you.
I would love that. Yeah, let's talk because I did reach out to her after I saw that clip on Twitter, and I don't know if I got, she probably got a lot of messages, but like I would really love for her to make a video for WalkAway Social and talk about it. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, that's a fantastic idea, and I think she would do good with that. And I talked to her yesterday, and she is a little overwhelmed right now. She's a lot of people reaching out to her, of course, and she's gone viral with with everything she's done lately. So I just told her, like, don't overwhelm yourself. A lot of people are reaching out to you to ask you for a million favors, but just make sure you keep everything balanced, and keep have your personal life and everything. Still, don't overwhelm yourself with everything going on. But I definitely think that she would have a great message for WalkAway, and I know she's born to like to be willing to do that. So I'll get in contact with her for you and see if we can get her to do a WalkAway.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely, Brandon. Definitely. But I just want to say, Brandon, thank you very much for taking your time out with you today, man. I really appreciate it, man. And you spending time to talk with me. We did a couple of interviews in the past, and we haven't done one in a few years. And, I really wanted to kind of, just, reconnect.
Catch up.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. And I'll just let everyone know too, I'm going to be in New York City on April 30th. So if you're in the area and you're a fan of Chris's and a fan of mine, please come to the Metropolitan Republican Club April 30th. I'll be speaking. Yeah. So I'll be there speaking, and I'll be in the city for a few days, and get on WalkAway Social. Go to the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store, load the app, go to the testimonial group, share your video, share your story, but come out and see me April 30th, New York City Metropolitan Club. Love to see you.
Yes, please do. Please get out there. And I'm glad you're coming to the Metropolitan Republican Club. Shout out to Ian, the club president there.
Yep.
I'm so glad to hear you coming there, man. That's awesome news, brother. We're definitely going to be there on the 30th.
Cool. Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks
All
for
right,
having
Brandon.
me, Chris. It was good catching up with you.
Yeah, you as well, man. You as well. I like to close out with one more clip. And this is a message that you had. I feel is just a very, very powerful message, and especially within the Black community right now, especially here in New York City. And it was like I said, you were going like a tour when you first walk. Well, you still are, but when you first started, you were all over the place.
Yeah.
And remember, we had that one you did like an event with like powerful Black speakers at the time. You had us come in New York City and go on stage at Apollo and speak, and it was oh man, historical. I loved it, man. I never forget that time in history. And I have a clip from that moment, and it's just you speaking on terms of Black abortion in America. And I think what that message you had, you really spoke from the heart. And I want to play that clip and end on that note, and just remember who we're dealing with, guys. On the left, it's the party of the KKK, lynching, segregation, Margaret Sanger, you name it, they're behind it, and they're still that same party. It's just back in the day, they were physically putting us on the plantation, and now it's mental. But if you look at the games and you look at the people behind it, it's the same thing. But I just want to play this clip and close on that note, and thank Brandon again for coming on and taking your time, my brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, brother. Thank you.
if we take the emotion out of this, if we take the moral judgment out of this and just ask ourselves a couple of factual questions, we can say there is one party that supports the ability to abort, and there's one party that does not. Those are facts. And one party is supporting making it easier and more accessible, and the longer the duration of being able to perform an abortion, one party is doing that. And that party is being voted for at a rate of 90% by Black Americans. And I'm going to tell you something that I just learned for the first time when I was at CPAC, and it about made me faint when I heard it, but it's true. In New York City, more Black babies are aborted than born alive. Try to wrap your head around that, because I can't.